Well, hello there, everybody. Pastor Jered to you, coming out of the sanctuary once again. Sunday was a unique day. It shouldn't have felt that way, but it was. And the reason is because in 12 weeks, we had not had an audience indoors, and we did on Sunday. Most of the reason due to that, not only are we starting to open up the building and do ministry both inside and outside, but it rained nonstop. And for many of you, I know that you've been praying for rain. Your gardens are growing, the fields are growing, and so God really heard your prayers. As a matter of fact, all week it's just been that kind of weather for all of us down here in our area of Florida. But praise God, He so much cares about each and every one of us. And we're excited to report several things as things begin to open up for our area of our state and our community, as well as our church. The children and the youth ministries are starting to meet in person, as well as through computer and things. And so stay tuned for all of that. I wanted to say thank you for watching this video. Thank you for taking the time to hang with us. And thank you for what you've done over the last 3 months. It has truly been unique. In fact, it really reminds me of something I want to give you just as a way of encouragement and strength to all of you, is right out of Psalm 63. David has been on the run. In fact, he's been on the run to the point where he hasn't had the tabernacle, he hasn't had that kind of worship in a building. And in reading through this section, we can all relate. For many of you, you haven't seen the inside of the church, and some of you haven't seen the outside in the church in months. It's been something that you've not only just missed, you long to be there. And that's where David is in Psalm 63. He's on the run from sun. He's on the run from what he knew as the norm. And he did it by choice, where many of you and I, we had to make changes based on maybe some legal things, or we made some changes because we really had to. It wasn't easy. And it hasn't been easy for David. But this is something that he said that I'd like to leave with you. It's a powerful word and testimony. He didn't look at his circumstances. He didn't look around in fear, and he didn't complain about all the things that were surrounding him. As a matter of fact, in Psalm 63:1, where he truly could have been discouraged, he began to get excited about God. He began to be in a place where, even though he wasn't in the tabernacle, this is what he said: "O God, you are my God. Early will I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you in a dry and thirsty land where there is no water. So I have looked for you in the sanctuary to see your power and your glory." I want to point out, what is your deepest desire? It's amazing how circumstances will sway you to what you might desire most. If you need a ride and you don't have a car, you want transportation, you probably want a car. If you're starving, much like Esau was with Jacob, "Give me some stew to eat, I'm dying over here." If you're starving, that's what you really want. If you're thirsty, there is no amount of anything other than drink that would bring you really pleasure. And so David says, in the current situation of my life, my deepest desire is God. My deepest desire is a connection with the Lord. In fact, although he was on the run, he still had everything he needed. He still had food, he had water, he had the tent, he had this, he had that. But the truth is, he desired God more than anything else. And for many of you, you might share the testimony, what you deeply desire is a job. Or you deeply desire this disease to go away. Or you deeply desire, and you can fill that in the blank however you want to. But for David, and what we've always pointed out, to have a heart after God means that he needs to have your deepest desire. Some of the things I'd like to point out is that what David said is that my soul thirsts for you. Does your soul cry out? Perhaps you've been wounded. Perhaps your feelings have gotten hurt and you just feel in your heart and even in your bones, you're just bothered by something. David said, my soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you. In a dry and thirsty land where there's no water. You know what that means? That means physically he only wants God. Emotionally, he only wants God. Spiritually, he knows there is no other place he would like to be. And he has looked for him in the sanctuary, and he wants to see his power and his glory. He wants to see God at work. Isn't that one of our deepest desires through? Now in verse 3, this is what he says. Because your loving kindness is better than life, my lips shall praise you. Notice he didn't say, I'm praising you because of what you've done for me, God, or what you're going to do for me, God. I'm praising you for your loving kindness. It's better than life. And for everyone who has shared the testimony of being afraid to get sick and afraid to die, do you desire God's loving kindness more than you hope to live? Isn't that powerful? Stay with me. It says, my lips shall praise you. Thus I will bless you while I live. While you live is when you're going to bless the Lord. This is that time where you sing praises. You talk about Him. Whatever your mouth can do for God, this is your moment. And it says, I'll lift up my hands in your name. Some of you lift up your hands to vote. It's a good thing. Some of you lift up your hands to ask permission to do something. That's a good thing. But David says, when I lift my hands, it's for one thing only, to praise your holy name. That is one powerful statement. Should we vote? Yes. Get out there and vote this year. Should we ask for permission to do all kinds of things in our life, especially doing God's will? But and I want to really press in. When you raise your hands, is it to strike? Is it to bother? Is it to make some emphasis? Well, in raising my hands, I want to bring honor and glory to the Lord. Well, David says, my soul shall be satisfied as with marrow and fatness. I like that because it says everything that I have, everything that I am comes from Him. And He not only just satisfies me with the lean parts of life, He satisfies me with an abundance I can't even put words around. And He says, and my mouth shall praise you with joyful lips. What He's saying is, it's not as important where you worship God. We all can understand that. Some people are having to worship from home. Some people are worshiping from the car. And some people, you worship on a Monday because of the timing and situational things. David says, it's how you worship that matters. He longed to be back in the sanctuary. He longed to be back with those who are doing the ministry of things. And so what he says is, it's how you worship. It's how you worship. My lips shall praise you. I'll bless you while I live. Are you blessing God while you live? Is it something that is so important for you? I want to bless your holy name. I want to bless others. Well, lift your hands up in His name. In other words, in everything you do, lift your hands for Him. Do whatever you do for the glory and honor of the Lord. So let me encourage you this week, as you go through the things you're going through, whether it's a tough job, whether it's a tough relationships, you've got school things, you've got other burdens in life. Let's give our complete focus to the Lord. Let's worship His holy name, and anything you do, do it for His glory. May God bless you this week. As you bless Him, point everything to what He has done. Give Him great thanksgiving. Have a great week. Long to see you 9 a.m. Sunday morning. Bye-bye.